Hey guys, it's me, bittersteel here, back with another video for Hearts of Iron 4. Let's hop right into single player, 1936 obviously, and we will be picking France, considering that our goal will be die Perfidious Albion. As the nationalist or Vichy France, we have to take on the United Kingdom and conquer Great Britain. I believe we need to take on the islands. It's been a while since I've played France, so this should be interesting. Select the country, leave Iron Man mode on, and historical focus is on. Do note that I am using all available DLC up to and including Battle for the Bosporus, so some focus trees might be different from yours. Especially La Resistance adds a lot to France, so if you're confused why your France does not look like my France, that's probably it. Alright, let's hop right in. But first, if you like these videos, leave a like and hit me up in the comments telling me what you want to see me try next. Maybe a cool challenge, maybe some achievements you're having trouble with. I'm always open to some more suggestions. Also consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload more content. Other than that, we have a very cool and active Discord community. I'll leave links to that down in the description below. But enough rambling, on to the video. France 1936. Bunch of negative modifiers. Large army though, but not much of an industry to back that up. How about we fix that? Let's start off with focuses. We will revive the national bloc first. It should start us on the way to recovery. Next up, construction. We'll just fill Île-de-France, Picardie, and Nord-Pas-de-Calais, these three provinces here, with civilian factories. Once these are built, we'll follow up with military. Research, nothing fancy. The basics of engineering, production, and construction. Military production, no trucks, no tanks. Leave 2 on infantry equipment for now, 1 on support equipment, and 5 on towed artillery. We'll follow that up with a few more on infantry equipment, a few more on support equipment, and everything else past that probably on towed artillery. If you get the 15 factories on towed artillery and still have some left, by all means, throw them at infantry equipment. And now, the military. Let's see. 74 divisions. Alright, let's start organizing. We have 19 decent divisions. These are Division d'Infanterie, assign them to an army. Then we have 9 more decent divisions that are just slightly worse. I'll hold on to those as well. And then we have a bunch of colonial troops, Brigade Coloniale. I only want about 12 of those. Assign them to their own separate army. Alright, let's have a look here, just so I'm not ruining things. I'll take 4 of these out there. So we have 1 army, 24 divisions of fairly good troops. 1 army, 12 divisions of garbage, but these are colonial troops, so doesn't matter. And then we have another 4 divisions of fairly decent infantry. I'll throw some more on there. 8 more. That gives us 12 infantry divisions, and everything else gets to be disbanded. Alright, the 24 good divisions I'll park on Paris for now. The 12 colonial divisions can be guards. They can guard my ports. Britain does have a nasty habit of trying to invade. Yep, just port guards. That leaves us with 12 more units here. Half of them are useful, the other half are not that great. So I'll convert all of these into infantry divisions. Don't worry about the equipment. And I'll assign them to the African front in Syria with orders to take the Suez. Now the reason I'm putting these troops here is because I want the United Kingdom to spread out its troops over a large area. If we're not contesting them in Africa, they will have all of their troops on the home islands, and every soldier not on the home islands is just 1 more division. We don't have to fight when we conquer them. Alright, that leaves us with these 24 good divisions. I will also quickly chuck them over to Division d'Infanterie, and that should be everything done. Let's assign these boys a field marshal. As for generals, the army of 24 can go to Charles de Gaulle. He has the highest attack. The port guards can go to... Who do I want these? René Orly. Yeah, decent defense, good entrenchment, infantry officer, mountaineer. Yeah, he can man the defenses. And Africa can be dealt with by Alphonse Juin. He has a high supply consumption bonus, so I'll give him that. As for our field marshal, once we get some command power, I would like to promote Jean de Lattre de Tassigny. This guy. He has good stats, high level, and he is a brilliant strategist, giving him good field marshal traits. But we don't have the command power yet, so that can wait. Alright, army is organized. Air Force. Start by parking all of them on this airport here in Nord-Pas-de-Calais. Just the big airport to the north. We'll sort them out later. The Navy. Just combine every single ship we have into a single navy. I like to add them to the Flottille d'Haute Mer and just park them in Brittany, Brest, and assign them Darlon. Onto production of ships, because I forgot. Just fill this out entirely. Just throw all of these in there, except for the subs. Subs are pretty much pointless. They'll never be finished on time anyway. I like to shuffle this around a bit though, so there's a few more of these early cruisers done before we start on the heavy ships. So all of the destroyers go first, fill that out with dockyards, then the cruisers, well, at least 2 of the cruisers, and then the heavy ships. There's some more cruisers back here, but I don't think we'll be able to finish all of them. Our starting navy is pretty large at 135 ships, so it should be able to get us a smidgen of naval superiority that we need to invade. Still, would be nice to add a few more boats to it. Alright, that's the basic setup done. Oh, quickly. Set the army to exercising now, and that's the basic setup done. Let's get going. There we go, national bloc revived, and the Rhineland is remilitarized. We'll just issue a diplomatic objection. As for our next focus, we will now be getting rid of communism. Communism is bad. Now the 5% penalty to stability is bad, but with communism banned, 1, we don't have political violence anymore, and 2, before this one goes into effect, there will be 1, maybe 2 more events that will boost communism support. The higher communism support, let me show you. It's currently at 20%. There's an event that's going to fire that will give us the option of adding another 10%, making it 30. Once we ban communism, this will drop dramatically, very quickly, and everything that was communist support will be distributed among the other parties. A small bit of it will go to the Democratic Party, but the majority of it will be spread along the Mouvement Franchiste and the non-aligned party, so the opposition parties. That's a very easy way of boosting these two up to 50%, which is required for us to take national regeneration. So, with communism out of the picture, we're one big step closer to being able to move down the focus tree, which is important because there's some good stuff behind that. Alright, basic engineering done. Let's get mechanical computing. And this is the event I spoke of, communists in government. We have the first option of boosting their popularity by 10%, which is what we're going to take. And the second option allows us to give a little bit more to our Democratic Party, 3%, but it makes us lose 5% stability. I have no idea what anyone would pick this, so we will go for reform rather than revolution. That's okay, because in 19 days, communism support will be evaporating. I also have basic machine tools done. Let's keep going. Now, this is a matter of flavor. If you intend to play the long game, this burst isn't bad because it keeps you producing equipment at a better efficiency every time you switch over to a new version. I like to go with concentrated just to get that factory output right now from the start. Raw factory output, it's not like we'll be playing for a very long time since it's just the achievement I'm going for. But if you plan to take this into something like a world conquest, or you want to play a game that goes beyond just conquering the UK, this burst certainly is viable. Alrighty, we have banned communism. Let's keep going. Next up, we'll be taking Utilize the Leagues. This will unlock a few decisions that are going to be very helpful in boosting our non-aligned and bad party support. Alrighty, construction 1's done. Everything else in here is ahead of time. Let's take radios. Oh, Spanish have started their little bitch fight. Alright, Utilize the Leagues is complete. We cannot go to national regeneration just yet, so we'll hop into the center below the national block. We have the option between laissez-faire, 3 pretty decent bonuses to industry, or agricultural protectionism, a national spirit boosting civilian factory construction speed. But we won't be building that many civies anyway. This might be good if you're going to build up for longer. I'm just gonna go with laissez-faire. Now, I'm not much of a numbers guy, so I could be wrong. Yay, this is going to occur sometimes. This is the Russians doing. We can simply boost our communism support a little bit more, and it will just drain away into the opposition parties of the non-aligned and the Mouvement Franchiste. And with that communism support draining away, we've gotten a very nice boost to the non-aligned party and the Mouvement Franchiste. I think combined they're almost up to 40%, so we need 10% more. Where can we get that? By rallying the leagues. In exchange for 3% stability, we do get some more support for the Mouvement Franchiste and an online party. Now, I would not ever recommend you click La Cagoule. Mathematically, it gives you the same support. You'll see later on in our focus tree why. It just takes 7.5% stability away. That's too much. I would never do this. We're already fairly low. Never, ever allow it to drop below 30%. Below 30%, there's the chance of a, well, civil conflict happening. Rather not. Alright, laissez-faire is done, as is our research. And we can go on to national regeneration, because we have the combined support of the Mouvement Franchiste and the online party, and it's at or over 50%. Now in your game, if you're not here just yet, just take economic devolution next and wait for rally the leagues to be available. Click that one more time, then move on to national regeneration. We're not going to. I'm just going to get national regeneration now. As for research, let's make use of some of those bonuses. Concentrated 2 and improve machine tools. And we have our radios. Now I could use this bonus for construction. Rather not, I'd rather use that bonus to rush ahead of time on concentrated, so I'll just get some infantry equipment. And we have 100 political power we've been saving for quite a while. It's time to improve worker conditions. Yes, this gets our factory output lowered, as well as giving us some consumer goods factories, but we need that stability. Stability is just too low. Higher stability means more production and more PP anyway, so it's always good to get this up at least over 50%. Alright, machine tools are done. Not gonna rush this ahead of time, saving the bonus for concentrated 3, so what else can we do? The artillery. Very well, national regeneration is done. Let's head straight for political unity. This will remove that disjointed government and convert all of the non-aligned support into support for the Mouvement Franchiste. This is good for our stability, as it will give us more support for the ruling party. Plus, with disjointed government gone, we'll actually start getting some decent political power again. Alright, concentrated 2 done, and I'm going to use that bonus to get concentrated 3 a little bit ahead of time. And civilian factories are finishing. Now we will start building military factories in our high infrastructure provinces. Infantry equipment done. The next steps are a little bit ahead of time. It's also not worth it to take any doctrines. They are super expensive as France. What I like to do instead is go into the naval stuff and get damage control and fire control methods. This will make our fleet last a little bit longer when having to go up against the Royal Navy. Alright, political unity is done. Now we'll start getting some political power, finally. Next up, we will be strengthening the country somewhat. We're not quite ready to take on the UK, so let's head for economic devolution. Also, one thing I forgot. If you are not yet flipped to the Nation Française, by, I believe, February of 37, you will get an event allowing you to start sending Lend-Lease to Spain. And they mean the Republicans here. We did flip, however. That allows us to start sending Lend-Lease without any events to the other Spain, the nationalists, who have, for some reason, picked Primo de Rivera. So we'll send them about 2,000 guns once, and monthly about 10 artillery pieces. That should give us a very nice amount of army experience, because we do need quite a bit of army experience. Our templates aren't great, and I would very much like to change those. And with artillery done, next stage, too far ahead of time, same for the infantry equipment, so I'll use the second slot and get fire control methods. And with our equipment in use in Spain, you'll finally see that army experience starting to go up. Alright, with economic devolution done, let's promote entrepreneurship. That will allow those military factories to get built quicker. Now we do have a lot of political power. What I like to do is spend a little bit of it. Could get the silent workhorse, but he's fairly expensive. We can get a better version of the silent workhorse later on. Just need one more focus. Instead, I will be getting a more industrialist, get the military factories built quicker. And with that experience pouring in, I'll start changing my templates a little. We'll take the basic infantry division and replace 2 infantry battalions with 2 artillery battalions. This gives you a basic 7-2 division. Decent attack, decent defense, a good amount of soft attack. Again, not perfect, but it's good enough to start with. These will mostly be fighting in Africa. If we do manage to get more army experience, which we should, we will double this up to a 14-4. And those will be the shock troops landing in England. This is just a in-between measure and good troops to use in Africa. Alright, promote entrepreneurship is done. We could get on into stimulate the dynamic market, but I'm gonna make a small sidestep here to integralism. This unlocks a very good political advisor. Speaking of political advisors, I am also going to pick up, where is he? The propaganda master, 10% more war support. That edges us closer to partial mobilization. Now, if you're afraid that you will not get enough army experience out of this disaster in France, there's always the option of saving up a little bit of political power and sending an attaché over to Japan once they start things in China, which they have. That's always a good source of army experience. But for now, Spain is doing just fine. For a few guns, they've given us quite a bit of army experience. Alright, we've got those damage control and fire control methods research is done. I'm not gonna pick more of them, I think. Just gonna get the construction 2 here. Alright, 2 things here. Turkey wants HoI. I don't think I'll give it to him. And integralism is done, which means we can hire, where is he? The National Integralist. Not only does he give us 15% PP gain, he also gives us a nice amount of weekly stability, and stability is wonderful. National focuses, we will head on to stimulate the dynamic market, more production. Oh, and concentrated 3 is done. Let's start work on some more infantry equipment. It's a little bit ahead of time, but not too much. Alright, bracket shooting's done, so that's all of the naval stuff out of the way. Again, infantry equipment. Like I said, a little bit ahead of time, but doesn't really matter that much. Alright, we can modify the government some more. Could ramp up the early mobilization, but we're so close to getting a little bit more war support and get partial. Partial is so much better than early. Instead, I will just pick something else. Chief of the Army, Army Maneuver Specialist, always a good idea. Now, looking at Spain, this might actually be a bit of a disaster. I need a bit more experience out of Spain before I can make my good divisions. But still, if this fails, I can get the last bit of experience just exercising my troops. Alright, we have stimulated the dynamic market. Onward into diplomatic freedom. Let's revoke some guarantees, shall we? Oh, and whenever Yugoslavia requests airplanes, just give them whatever. That minus consumer goods factories is great. And keep building military factories. Now I'm going to do a bit of trading with our good friends in the United States. Just a little bit. 10 civilian factories. I'll cancel the trade eventually. Just so we can exercise our navy. Because currently our navy is green, making them not good. I just want to get them up to level 3. That way they stand a bit more of a chance when having to go up against the Royal Navy.
3 weeks later.
Alright, we'll need about 45 experience before we can change our templates into what we like. And I'm not liking what I'm seeing over here in Spain. Don't want to spend 100 political power just for 10 army experience and send something to Japan at this point. I should have done that earlier if that was my go-to route. So I'll just start exercising my troops manually. Now, one way to avoid this is sending stuff to the Republicans instead of the Nationalists like I did. That might have been a bad idea, because that way the Republicans actually last quite a bit longer if they get some guns from someone, and the longer the conflict draws out, the more army experience you can get out of it. Still, it's no huge loss at this point. Just need a little bit more experience. I can get that with exercises. Sure, it's going to cost us some equipment, but not that much. Yeah, Spanish Civil War is drawing to a close. Alright, infantry equipment done. Let's get some artillery. Again, it's a bit ahead of time, but 173 days isn't bad. And engineering. Diplomatic freedom is done. That's a bunch of guarantees we've just cancelled. Let's keep going and head towards a new Europe. More infantry equipment done. Might as well just get fuel refining. We don't have a lot of oil, and our fuel situation is quite dire if we have to run the navy for any extended amount of time. Alright, another 150 political power. Let's finally send that to the partial mobilization. Looks like the world tension has bumped up war supports.
12 seconds later.
Yeah, and everything in Spain is now done, and we're just a little bit of army experience short. I'll just leave the army to exercise. There, 45 experience. Stop the exercises and go into our divisions. I'll take the Division d'Infanterie, our basic 7-2 that we made, and duplicate it, make them elite, whatever you want to call them, and let's start changing this. These are one of my favorite divisions to play with. If you've watched a few of my videos, you probably have noticed. Now, this is very basic but very powerful. 14 infantry battalions, 4 artillery battalions. This has really good attack, decent breakthrough, okay defense, but they are just excellent at destroying the AI at a cost-effective manner. Sure, it's better to have good cast support and to use tanks and get your encirclements. However, we don't have time to build all that. I need something that's great bang for the buck, and this will do just that. And we will convert that army of 24 into these divisions. Yes, we need a lot of artillery first. And these will be the boys that land in England and get us the victory. Meanwhile, let's continue towards a new Europe and establish spheres of influence. Now, what this does is divide a few things in Europe. We get claims on Belgium, Germany gets claims on the Netherlands, and if they like us enough, they will invite us into the Axis. Now, I'd rather not rely on an event to do that. I could just ask to join the faction, so I'll just do that. Congratulations, we're now in the Axis, and with our access to the Axis, let's start making some moves. I'm going to redeploy my army to this tile here with the airport beneath Wilhelmshaven, and start setting up a couple of naval invasions. Yes, naval invasions indeed. From Wilhelmshaven, I will be striking Hull and the area surrounding it. I will make 5 naval landings of 2 divisions each and hit Hull and its surrounding provinces, trying to cut the country in half as quickly as possible. Now, the reason I'm hitting this area instead of just hopping across the channel and hitting Portsmouth and Dover is because the Royal Navy heavily patrols the English Channel, but is far less interested in the North Sea and the Eastern North Sea. This improves our chances of actually getting across. Plus, most of their troops will be to the south here, closest to our own borders. At least this way we will be able to land and quickly expand, so we don't risk being caught without supply and pushed back into the sea. And we'll set the Navy to naval invasion support in the North Sea and the Eastern North Sea. The exercises have proven their worth, so they're all at level 3. And I'll keep trading for that fuel until our fuel reserves are full, and then we will stop the trade. And we have another 150 PP. Let's change up the army. Now, there's not really any infantry guys in military high command. Well, there is the army logistics, but it's not that great. Cavalry expert is nice if you're using cavalry, and I suppose you could build a 14-4 around cavalry, but I'm not going to bother. Bit gamey for my taste. Instead, I will improve my navy a little bit, get that decisive battle expert, giving our ships a bit of a fighting chance against the Royal Navy should they intercept us. Ah, Germany refuses. So be it. We've established our spheres of influence. Next up, either split Belgium or align Belgium. I'll just align Belgium, turn them into a puppet. Assuming they say yes. And, well, why don't we incentivize them? I'm not sure this is required, haven't checked the event. But, best be sure. Alright, we researched that towed artillery. Let's also produce it. Might as well get the better guns as well. I know it's ahead of time. And, what else? Maybe production. I know these things are ahead of time. They won't really matter from this point onwards. We've got our basic setup. We're just waiting for the opportunity to take out the UK. And that's a little bit further down the line here when we expand to the Suez. Aha! Belgium chose wisely. And the Munich conference, I don't much care for the Czechs anyway. Bye-bye. Next up, grow the empire. We will seize the Belgian Congo. So all of this is going to be added onto our African holdings. Belgium doesn't need it anyway. With Belgium under our control, I'm going to take their troops, 13 divisions, not bad, and assign them to our garrison units. They can help secure our shoreline in case the UK tries anything funny. And we'll just redeploy that army we just used. Put these guys back to work preparing those naval landings. And more political power. Could get army logistics, but really 4% division attrition reduction's not that huge considering our fight will really not last that long. Instead, I'll just improve our capital ships a little bit. Alright, got fuel refining done. Not much else to do here. I'll just pick construction 3. And we'll also cancel our trade with the US. Don't need that much fuel right now. Our supplies are full. Alright, we have grown the empire and, ooh, yeah, that's a nice blue Africa there. Next up, we will expand to the Suez, and this will give us some claims, which are nice, I guess. More importantly, it will give us a conquer war goal on the United Kingdom. In 70 days, we will take the empire down a peg. Now, a quick recap. We have 24 divisions of heavy shock troops, 14 4s with some support. 10 of those will make naval landings near Hull on the west of the United Kingdom. The rest of the divisions are standing by to ship across whenever the naval landings go successfully. I used my puppets troops as well as some of my own colonial divisions here as guards for my ports. The UK does tend to do some naval invasions every now and then, and it would be bad if those succeeded. And then I have 12 more infantry divisions of this template 7-2, competent but not perfect. And I've deployed them in Africa, most of them in Syria to push towards the Suez Canal. This will be a bit of a diversion for the British troops, that way they can't concentrate their entire army on their home islands. This will force them to defend their African holdings. And I've also put 2 divisions in Djibouti to push towards the rest of the British Somaliland. Just anything to distract British troops, really. Now we wait for that focus to finish. And we are in business. We'll have another 100 political power. Might as well improve worker conditions one more time. We will not be getting this to 80% stability, but hey, stability is great, right? And with that, we have a war goal. It's time to take the United Kingdom down a peg. Take the speed way down. 3 is fine. As for focus is pretty much irrelevant at this point, but if you really want to, you can pick whatever. I'll pick Rights of Man. 5% stability, always great. Let's see if we can actually get across. So, initial good news. Our naval invasions are off, and we are messing about in Africa as well. The more fronts the UK has to fight on, the fewer troops they have available in the home islands. Just look at what they're wasting in Africa here. Every one of these divisions is not on the home islands defending. As expected, we have lost naval superiority over the region, but that is perfectly fine. Our naval invasions are already on their way, and I don't think they can stop us now. Our fleet will protect us. Another benefit of landing in this area, this is usually not very well defended. They've concentrated their troops to the south because that is closest to us. That means we can just backdoor them. And great success. We've started our landings and start pushing out as quickly as possible, capping victory points. And with Hull itself secured, we can also send the rest of the army across now. Ah yes, strikes. There's no way around this. There's no way to get stability high enough, same for war support, to get both of those high enough to be safe from bad events. Now at this point, they don't matter. Sure, they suck, and always just take the most expensive option to try and get rid of them as quickly as possible. But all in all, they're pretty much irrelevant. The army's in position, the war is already almost won. So if they want to go on strike, that's fine, we'll deal with that later. Oh, and in case any of you were wondering, no, I did not get the Germans involved in this. I don't want them to get any war score. We want everything for ourselves. Besides, we don't need their help. Sure, they're driving around here, but they're not actually involved. Have a look here. Britain is virtually defeated. Yeah, 2% left to go. And in terms of casualties, not too bad. There we go. Capitulation of the United Kingdom. And we are the only ones involved in this. Great. I'll just pass a bunch of times so we have all the score we need. Now, for this achievement to fire, we need to have all of Britain's territory, that is their core, and not a core of Ireland or Northern Ireland. In short, we need the home islands. So this is what we need. Don't need Northern Ireland, might as well take it. And we end our turn. Oh, glorious, glorious. We also don't really need Gibraltar, we don't need Malta, and we don't need Cyprus. And I don't need any of this either, but I'm gonna take it anyway. And I think we'll puppet what's left. And we're done. Okay, and that's the achievement in the bag. All we had to take was the home islands. This is all you need for the achievement, but oh, look at that glorious color of Africa. Nice and blue. A French Raj there. This is great. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I sure had fun playing it. It's been a while since I played France, and it's always a wild ride. Now, if you like this video, leave a like, consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this, and don't forget to click the bell icon so you actually get notified whenever I upload more content. Also, head down into the comments and tell me what you want to see next on this channel. Another achievement, maybe some challenges, or some cool mods that you want to see me play. I really haven't played any mods, and I'm always open to the suggestion. If you didn't like this video, that's fine. Leave a dislike and tell me what I did wrong in the comments. I'm always looking to learn. And once more, massive shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys for helping making these videos possible. Love you guys. This has been me, bittersteel, out.